Right, hi everyone, and I'm here with Rosie Osborne. Delighted to welcome you, Rosie. Rosie's the Projects and Activities Officer with Weymouth Town Council, and she's here to have a chat with us about developments at Radipole Gardens in Weymouth. So welcome to Dorset I-10x6, Rosie.
Thank you, Tom. Nice to be here.
Lovely to see you. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. And could we just start by, could you tell us a little bit about your role and the other people who are involved with Radipole Gardens?
Yeah, sure. So I'm, as you say, the Project and Activities Officer for Weymouth Town Council. My role in this particular project is just to create some of the documentation that went into the Stage 2 lottery bid. So this included an activity programme, volunteer and training programme, and a consultation report. So that was basically talking to the public and finding out exactly what it is that they value about Radipole Park and maybe some of the changes that they'd like to see. I was supported by a project manager, Crystal Johnson, Jane Biscombe, project lead, Mike Goulden, chair of the Friends of Radipole Park and Gardens, and Sue Hogburn, who's the secretary of the Friends group. They're fantastic project team. Each person sort of had their own expertise which they brought to the role, which was really brilliant. So for example, we have Mike Goulden, who's got a catering experience, so he wrote the business plan for the cafe. We've got Sue Hogburn, who's a historian, that's her passion, so she was great in doing all the sort of historic heritage research which went into our conservation plan. So then we've got Crystal, who's got loads of experience doing lottery projects, so she was brilliant at just getting us through that Stage 2 submission. And we also work really closely with the parks team. So that's in particular the gardeners Rob and the apprentice Dom, who are fantastic and do a great job of keeping the park and gardens looking nice and tidy. They get lots of compliments for that. So yeah, very lucky. We've got a great project team.
Great, and lovely to hear that lots of different local people are involved. Could you just, for people that don't know, could you just tell us exactly where Radipole Gardens is in Weymouth, please?
Yeah, sure. So it's located on Radipole Park Drive, which is opposite the RSPB Nature Reserve. It's right in the centre of Weymouth. The park's quite unusual in that it stretches for almost a mile in length, and it's quite sort of thin in places. So it's quite a long, thin park. But yeah, people call it the green lung of the town centre, and the gardens in particular are beautiful. So I think people find it a bit of a nice sort of peaceful haven in an otherwise quite busy urban area. So yeah, very much valued.
Fantastic. And could you tell us a bit about what the current projects are that are underway at the gardens, and any plans for the future development of the gardens?
Yeah, so we were awarded 1.4 million in total from the National Lottery Heritage and Community Fund. As part of the bid, the lottery expect you to carry out extensive consultation. So this is, engaging with the public, finding out, what they might feel, what items or resources or facilities they feel might be lacking. The majority of people said that they love Radipole Park and Gardens, however, felt that their time was limited due to the lack of facilities such as toilets and a cafe. So this has actually put some people off, who might have small children. As we know, children can only last so long before needing a drink or trip to the loo. So this sort of puts some families off being able to spend much time there. And also groups, preschools, nursery schools, primary schools, they all have that same issue as well. And some of the community groups and nursing homes as well, said there's nowhere to shelter or to have a cup of tea if it starts to rain. So this is going to be our biggest addition to the park. So it'll be a brand new heritage cafe and toilets, and they'll be located next to the upgraded play area. So this is another exciting part of the project, which we aim to upgrade the play area and make it a bit more exciting for older children. Some of the feedback we got was that there's not enough sort of challenging items of play equipment. So we're going to introduce those and have some items for children with disabilities. So some that are wheelchair friendly and also have sort of sensory feel to them, such as water play. That's going to be a new addition to the play area. So that's quite exciting. And we're also going to resurface the car park, which will be really good because at the moment groups that have minibuses or coaches can't come in and park. There's no designated disabled parking. So we want to resurface it and put some of these disabled bays in so that groups or families that may have disabled members of their family can come and visit. We're going to upgrade the sports courts. We're going to introduce table tennis. That's a big hit at some of the other parks in Dorset, so we wanted to introduce it at Radipole as well. The Friends group are creating a sensory garden. So that's sort of a mini project that they've done themselves and fundraised themselves for, but it's going to be built at the same time as the rest of the construction work. And that's going to go adjacent to the cafe. So it's just going to be a really nice, peaceful garden for people to come and relax and sort of feel safe. And it's going to have things like lavender growing and lots of planting that you can smell and feel, and really hoping that it's going to open up some volunteer opportunities as well. So it's going to be sort of community led, and we're hoping that some groups can come in and maintain some of the flower beds in the new sensory garden. So that's very exciting.
Amazing. Wow, that's such a lot. I mean, that's I had no idea that all that was going on and planned for the future, and fabulous to hear how inclusive all of that is. You know, things for the elderly, things for teenagers, things for little ones, things for parents, things for people with disabilities. Just fabulous to hear, you know, how inclusive all of that is, and great. So last thing I just wanted to ask you really and discuss with you was about what you and other people see as the main benefits of the developments that are happening now and planned for the future. I'm thinking sort of benefits for the community, benefits maybe for the environment.
Yeah, so our main aim of the project is to sort of connect people with nature, and sort of celebrate wildlife, and above all just sort of encourage people to use the park and gardens. I think the main benefits to people will be to sort of boost mental health. I think lockdown particularly has showed us how important green spaces are to people. I know a lot of people, you know, their daily exercise in their local park was a real lifeline for them. I think, you know, the simple act of saying hello to someone whilst you're out on your walk can really make a difference to some people. So we wanted to sort of incorporate all these things into the project and sort of combat social isolation. So we've got loads of activities with this in mind, where we're trying to get people, you know, to come along and meet somebody else through volunteer opportunities and some of the activities. We want the cafe to act as a social hub for groups to meet. So this might be, you know, the health walk group after their walk, or some parents after the school run, or, you know, maybe just somebody popping into the cafe and seeing a friendly face. And, you know, we're really hoping it's going to sort of, we know that loneliness is a really big issue in Weymouth, and we really want to provide a space for people to come and meet other people. So we're hoping that that's going to be behind the driving force behind our project. So in terms of the other thing you asked me about was environment. We hope to encourage more wildlife. So our bat report that was carried out by Dorset Wildlife Trust came back to say that there's actually several species of bat living in the gardens. So we have an amazing volunteer busy making bat boxes for the bats to live in. So that's really nice. There's also hedgehogs living on the embankment of the playing field, and plenty of birds obviously coming over from the RSPB Nature Reserve. So the park supervisor, Emily, suggested we actually leave areas of grass to grow so that bees can pollinate from some of the dandelions and buttercups and things that are there. And we also want to extend the wildflower area near the community orchard. So there's a community orchard that has lots of, you know, apple trees and damson trees and things like that, which are great for wildlife. But there's also a wildflower area, which has been a really big hit, and people always comment on how beautiful it looks. So we just want to extend that, because that's really good for butterflies and bees. So yeah, we're hoping the project will improve biodiversity in the park as well.
How fantastic. I mean, huge benefits that you've outlined there for the community. People may be suffering after the last year or so of lockdowns and social isolation. Huge benefits for the environment. So absolutely fantastic. It's, you know, a real pleasure to hear about all this going on in Weymouth. And if anybody, obviously just want to encourage everyone to get yourself down to Radipole Gardens just to enjoy the place. It's truly fabulous and obviously being developed in loads of very exciting ways. If anyone's interested in getting more actively involved with the Friends of Radipole Gardens or volunteering opportunities, presumably can they contact you at Weymouth Town Council, Rosie?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got the Weymouth Town Council website, obviously with the Radipole Park page on there, so all the details are on there. And also soon, which is really exciting, the Friends group are launching a brand new website, so that'll obviously have all the details on there as well. So as soon as the new website's up and running, we'll be launching that. So yeah, watch this space.
Wonderful. Well, Rosie, thank you ever so much for taking the time to join us and tell everyone about the exciting developments at Radipole Gardens here in Weymouth. Thank you so much. Take care.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you. Bye.